Exactly.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Got it.
Well, what about maybe the fact that we live in a new generation and times are changing, and there are a lot of women out here who have OnlyFans.
Sure.
And what about
I was
guys
actually
adapting
interestingly
to that?
enough, I saw now I haven't dove into this, right? So this could be completely wrong, right? Because I haven't dove into it, but it wouldn't surprise me that it could be as high as 1 in 20 of the Zoomer women will end up doing sex work of some type in her lifetime is the projection. Now, I could be way off on that, and fact check me for sure, right? Because I don't know for sure, but it wouldn't surprise me if that was the case, right? So I'm going to concede that ground right away to you.
Okay, and then yeah, exactly. How would you feel if you found a boyfriend and you guys are together, and then he starts treating you really, really well, and then he asks you will you delete your OnlyFans for me? And you go, of course I will, because you guys are on an understanding. He's treating you right, you're treating him right. I will delete my OnlyFans for you. How do you guys feel about that?
I'm going to explain. I'm not going to mince any words. If it was my son, let's say, came to me and said, Dad, I love this woman. She's great. She treats me amazing, okay? And I just adore her. She engages in sex work. I'd say kick her to the curb, get rid of her. Absolutely not. Under no circumstances should you ever be with a woman like that. Way too good for her in every conceivable way. Don't do it. What would actually be the objection to that?
Yeah, well,
would you disown him? Would you
I'm
still
not sure
love
that
him?
I'm not sure that I would disown.
Exactly.
I would
Then-
disown him. It wouldn't be immoral if she quit sex work for him to marry her or this type of thing. I wouldn't make a moral claim that he was doing something morally wrong. My advice to him, though, would be absolutely under no circumstances should you do this. You know what I mean? And it's a really bad idea, and you can find somebody way better than that. That would be my advice.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that, for sure.
Yeah, I think that's totally fair.
I kind of believe that that's a narcissistic point of view, but
Why is it narcissistic?
because, like I said, times are changing.
Let's get our terms right. What is a narcissist?
A man who just
A man.
a man.
A man?
Yeah,
A man.
literally, a man who is just delusional, honestly.
A man who is delusional.
Yes.
You don't think it's delusional for a sex worker to expect that she's going to get Prince Charming?
I personally don't ever expect to find Prince Charming.
Sure.
I've kind of accepted that I will be
I think,
alone because of the
Well,
decisions
I don't
I've
understand.
made.
What would the delusion here be?
As a narcissist?
No, what would the delusion here be by telling your son not to date a sex worker under any circumstances, even if you loved her?
If that's your opinion as a father, I don't think that's delusional.
Then
That's
why
not
would it
what
be narcissistic?
I didn't say that was narcissistic.
Well, then what's the narcissistic part?
Okay, bring it back. When did I say the narcissism? What were you talking
When
about?
I said that you shouldn't, I said I would tell my son under no circumstances should you date a sex worker ever, period. You said that sounds narcissistic. Mm-hmm. What about that's narcissistic if narcissism means delusional?
Okay, and I will say again, because I think that times are changing, and I think that you guys need to broaden your horizon.
Sure, I get all that, but what about this is narcissism?
It sounds like you guys are wanting to own a woman.
Yeah, but what about that would be narcissism?
Because you can't own a woman. A woman's gonna be able to still have free will.
I'm sorry, there's places in the world where people clearly own women, right?
And that's crazy.
But it's not delusional.
That is delusional.
No, they clearly own them. There's no delusion there.
That's fucked up.
Maybe it's fucked up, and I agree with you, it's fucked up, but it's not delusional.
That is delusional.
What's the delusion? Do you
That's
agree that they
narcissism,
own the woman?
Delusional. That's evil.
It's evil. Yes, it's evil. It's wrong. It's immoral, but it's not delusional. Delusional is it's an untruth. It's not true.
Listen very carefully. Listen
You're not
carefully.
listening.
Listen to
It feels like delusional.
Yeah,
like,
but you're not
can't believe
because you're
that's
not
real.
listening, right? You got to listen to what's
I'm
actually being
listening.
said.
Listen to the words.
Don't tell me I'm not listening when I am. But go on.
Oh, okay. You're listening?
Yeah.
Human beings can't own each other and have never been able to?
He's not saying should.
Hang on.
He's not saying should.
Have they been able to?
Sadly.
Sadly, they have, right? So if I acknowledge that that is true, isn't that the opposite of delusion?
But I'm saying that I think that it's delusional that is a thing. To
Okay.
own someone and
hang
that
on,
it
hang
was-
on.
Okay.
I'm not giving a moral prescription here and saying it's right. I'm just saying that it happens. So I still don't understand how it's delusional to acknowledge that there are people right now, men right now, who own women.
Well, I don't think it's delusional to know that.
You're right,
That they're delusional for owning women. That's what I'm trying to say.
but how? Where's the delusion there? They own the woman. Right? What's the delusion?
All of it. It's
What do you mean
it's
by delusion?
immoral.
Can you-
Well, yeah. What
It's
does
like-
delusion mean here?
It's a definition thing. It's not.
Yeah, what do you mean by delusion?
Delusion to me means not true. You
Okay.
living something that's not true, and you believe it is true.
Okay. Then yeah, I'm
She's
using
just saying those guys
delusional
are
in the
cuckoo.
wrong way.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe they're crazy and it's immoral and it's
Okay,
fucking
yes,
evil
yeah.
and all that. Like, I'm not disputing any of that. But if narcissism means delusional, I'm trying to get to the part where it's delusional here. Like, where's the delusion?
In
When
being
I
narcissist?
say don't date a sex worker, what's the delusion here? Like, you have to? Right? I don't know what the delusion is.
Okay, then I'm not using delusion in the right terms.
Or
then,
narcissism, maybe.
Yeah? Narcissism.
So maybe me and you can agree on some other things, right? So
Okay.
maybe narcissism is, I would say, it's an antisocial behavior, which is extraordinarily rare.
Okay.
Like super duper rare. And even people who diagnose it get it wrong often and claim that they get it wrong often, right? Because there's no specific criteria where you could meet all the criteria and still not be that thing. So it's a very hard like diagnosis, right? I've talked to various doctors, medical professionals who've explained this multiple times to me on my program, right? It's a very, very difficult diagnosis. So when people use the term narcissist, I just want to know, does that just mean you're an asshole? Is that what we're saying is like narcissist just means he's a fucking asshole?
No, just like in my experience with dealing with a narcissist, just someone who thinks that they can do whatever they want, walk over women,
Sure.
treat women however they want.
Yeah, but why is any of that narcissistic?
No empathy. They don't feel empathy.
Sure, you can meet all those
So
criteria, though.
they're lying,
You could be a
they're
person who
manipulative.
chronically lies, is very egotistical, right? Believes that you're better than everybody around you, and still not meet the criteria for being a narcissist.
What's a narcissist then? Like
It's
the
very
definition?
difficult. It's a very nebulous term, just like most of these psychological diagnoses, right? Psychopathy, for instance, doesn't even exist. It doesn't even exist. There's no such thing as a psychopath. There's no actual diagnosis for a psychopath anywhere in the DSM. Never has been.
Well, I'm just thinking of certain people in my life, and it's just like you're telling me this. Then what are they? Are they
Maybe
just
narcissistic
assholes?
tendencies.
That's what I think. I think that when they say narcissist, they just fucking mean asshole, right? It's just
or like
an
have
asshole.
narcissistic tendencies. Like
Yeah,
not
but what does
full-
that mean? So again, it's such a nebulous term that has so many different criteria which it can or can't be that I'm always very, very skeptical when somebody says narcissist because I'm not even really sure what it means.
Okay, well,
Doesn't it also mean like somebody with a fake ego?
Could
or like
be.
somebody who like hypes himself up and to the
Sure.
world they seem like this person on this moral high ground, but they treat the people closest to them like crap.
Could be. All those could be criteria for that, or you could meet all of those criteria and still not be it. That's the why I think it's nebulous.
Same with
right?
a lot of these diagnoses.
Same with a lot of these diagnoses. So because of that, I'm always very cautious about calling somebody a narcissist or a psychopath or things like this. I tend to use like lunatic, but I use it as a broad scope term to
Yeah.
just mean you're a fucking weirdo, right?
Yeah, I
not
don't
not as
throw
an
those words
actual
around.
like I've diagnosed you with
Yeah.
lunacy. So but back to this. I don't think it's delusional to say to a my son, never date a sex worker. No, or a daughter, right?
Yeah.
Like never date a sex worker,
no,
no matter
you're right.
what.
It's not delusional.
Yeah,
to
it's
tell
not
your
delusional.
Child that no.
So there's no problem with me saying that, right? There's no like objection you would have to saying that.
As long
But I
as
think
you-
that's the advice a lot of dads are going to give their kids.
Yeah, on any parent, I'm sure would say that to
Yeah.
their child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like don't date a drug dealer or like
Sure.
Yeah.
you know, like it's just you're looking out. You're looking out.
Yeah, it's a
and that's-
nefarious
that's
posi-
fine as long as you don't drop them and say that you don't like your kid or like you like no longer want to associate with your kid just because they, follow through with it. You
What
know,
would be wrong with that?
Yeah.
you
Like if your kid
raised that kid.
Yeah, but if your kid became a
if
sex
you don't love
worker-
that say you don't love your kid without
And
saying
that's
you
not.
don't love your kid.
Those are two
you know?
different things.
What?
Disassociating from a child doesn't mean you don't love them.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying like you like tell them, no, I do not like you anymore. You are out of my life forever.
Yeah, you can exclude them from your life forever. Doesn't mean you don't love them.
Well, I'm saying they told you they don't love you.
Yeah, well, that's
Like,
different,
that's
right?
What I'm
That-
saying is
so if you
messed
just
up.
directly
That's
say to
the
someone, "I
only-
don't love you," yeah, I think that
Exact-
there's
that's
a
the only
distinction.
thing,
Sure.
That's the only thing I would think that would make that situation.
Yeah, I'll
not
grant
good.
that distinction, right? I just don't think that that's what happens. I think that parents tend to distance themselves from kids who do horrible things. They don't
Yeah, for
want
sure.
they don't want that association with their family. That seems fair to me.
Yeah, I don't know. I just
They're
think
like,
with
you're
sex
bad
workers,
news. You're
it's
a
just
problem.
not that deep.
You're doing problematic things, and I don't want the association with my family name, right?
Yeah,